guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Callie, and today I am going to be doing my September TBR video. So I decided to switch up the angle a little bit and actually show you guys my TBR cart. So this entire top row is all the books that I'm going to be going over. Very excited for this month for a couple of reasons. September is my birthday month. My birthday is actually September 2nd. Really pumped for that. Plus a lot of fun things are happening in September because I'm getting married in 2 months. So that's a whole thing. So the first book that I want to dive into for September is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is part of her Grisha-verse. This is the 3rd series in the Grisha-verse. And this one follows Nikolai, who we met in Shadow and Bone, or technically I guess Siege and Storm. But I loved Nikolai and I am hyper pumped to get more and to actually get the story in his point of view. I've heard really good things. The sequel just dropped with a gorgeous cover, so very, very pumped to get into this one. The next is my book of the month from April, and that is The Paris Hours by Alex George. This follows 4 separate characters in Paris during, I believe, the 1930s, and fate ends up pulling them together in the wee hours of the morning in France, or in Paris, the City of Lights. I honestly only picked this book because I'm obsessed with Paris. I have an Eiffel Tower tattooed on me, and I just love Paris, so this is a nice short one. I'm interested to see kind of what happens. I always like the strangers meeting up, fate pulling people together kind of trope, so interested to see what this does with it. The next book is I Hope You Get This Message by Farah Naz Rishi. This was an Owl Crate book some time back, and I guess I just never read it. So it's made its way onto my TBR. This follows a group of teenagers as aliens take over the world. So it seems very 5th wave, along with some Illuminae, because there's a lot of different like text messages, different files being used. I haven't seen any reviews for this though, and this came out, I want to say, like last October. So I'm interested to see how well this takes on the alien trope. Next, I have The Queen of Attolia by Megan Whalen Turner. This is the sequel to The Thief, which I read in August. The Thief was okay. It was very fast-paced, and it was very reminiscent of 2000s YA, but it did intrigue me, and there's very short and quick stories, and I like the early 2000 YA aspects because I think that is kind of the birth of where a lot of our tropes came from, so it's really interesting to see how those tropes started. We continue the thief's journey in this after a lot was revealed at the end of the first book. Very excited to get to this one. Next is my July Owl Crate, which is Goddess in the Machine by Lora Beth Johnson. This follows a girl who goes into cryogenic sleep and wakes up 1,000 years later, and basically she wakes up to everyone thinking she's a goddess. So it seems very Aurora Rising-esque, and apparently I'm going to be reading a bunch of futuristic stuff this month because I have a couple others, but it's got gilded edges, and I like the trope of, I almost want to call it a Futurama trope because Futurama, I feel like, did it first, where with cryogenic sleep, 1,000 years later, things happen. So Goddess in the Machine. We'll see how this goes. If it's too much like Aurora Rising, I'm going to be a tad disappointed though. The next one is another futuristic one, and that is 13 Rising by Romina Russell. This is the finale to the Zodiac series, which Zodiac was our March Serpent and Badger book club pick, and I've been slowly trying to actually finish the series. I did not care for Black Moon. My review will be up, I think, sometime next week for all of the books I read in August, so you can see more of my thoughts then. But I do just want to finish this series and see it resolved. But I liked Wandering Star. Zodiac was okay. Black Moon I did not like, so I'm very scared and intrigued to get to the final book. Next, I have Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Tucholke. This is a creepy YA mystery, I believe, mystery romance. We follow a girl who has just entered a town, and we start to learn things about the town, about her own past, and the main aspect about her past that we know is her grandmother always warned her about the devil. So it's supposed to be kind of mysterious. There's a romance as well, and there's mysteries behind our romantic interest, along with our seaside town, and it has that feel of that lighthouse kind of town where everything's really creepy and misty. So this will be really fun to jump into as fall starts to make its appearance. The next book is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. This was a part of my fairy loot in, I believe, June. And I believe this is actually an arc. The actual book comes out, I want to say February of next year. And I don't know anything about this book besides the tagline on the back, which is, "Are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive?" And that's all I need to know. It seems like it's going to be an African-inspired fantasy filled with, I want to say, almost like Wonder Woman-esque warriors. And that sounds like everything I could ever want in a fantasy book. Next, I have The Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. This is supposed to be a fantastical Mulan retelling, and I have loved every single Mulan retelling I have ever read, including Spin the Dawn and The Poppy War. So this, it also has a phoenix on the cover, and it sounds like something that I will love. So, and I want to jump into Renee Ahdieh because I have, I think, all 3 of her duologies. And this is going to be the first one I'm actually reading. So I want to jump into them because I want to love them. Because next I have Immortal Reign by Morgan Rhodes. This is the finale to Falling Kingdoms. And I'm so scared. I have been in love with this series. I've been reading it for the past 6 months. And I have finally gotten to the finale. And so many things are happening. So many bad things are happening, and I'm scared. The last book felt like a lot of buildup. Not a ton happened in Crystal Storm. But so this is it. This is it, and I'm scared. But my babies need to be okay. I hope they're okay. They're on the cover, so they need to be okay. Next, I have Beastly Bones by William Ritter. This is the sequel to Jacoby. And Jacoby is a Sherlock Holmes meets Doctor Who-esque thing, story, I guess. And the first one was pretty good. It was intriguing, a little fast-paced. I am intrigued to kind of see where this goes because the first book ended fine. It didn't seem like it could be a full series, so I'm interested to see what our big overarching plot is going to end up being. Next, I have Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I have heard a lot of amazing things about this book. It's a Charlie Bowater cover. Let's be real. That's the whole reason I bought it. Another futuristic story. This follows Spensa, who her entire goal in life has been to be a pilot, but because her father was branded a traitor, she hasn't been able to get into the academy. But when she's able to basically blackmail herself into the academy, we follow her story. So another futuristic one for this month, which will be really fun. I've just heard really good things. And it has the traitor's child trope that I love, which means we're going to be getting a lot of sass. I've heard that there's the side characters are phenomenal in this series. So yeah, I'm very excited to get to Skyward. This is my big honkin' book for the month. And the last book on my actual TBR is the Serpent and Badger Book Club pick, which is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. For this month, we picked Truthwitch. I say we decided that for each birthday month, whoever is the birthday girl gets to pick. I wanted to read Truthwitch, so I picked it. So Truthwitch, basically we're in a world where there are different types of witches, and in this one we are following a truth witch who can discern lies from truth. Pretty straightforward, but apparently it is a very coveted skill that can lead to death. So I'm all for witchy stories. I think they're great. They're some of my favorite books, and I'm excited to jump into this series, especially because the, I believe, 4th book was recently announced, and the cover dropped for that one. So very, very pumped to get to this one. So those are all the books on my actual TBR. Per usual, I always have a hopeful TBR. The first book on my hopeful is a reread, and that is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I really want to reread this so that I can immediately jump into Unravel the Dusk, because Spin the Dawn, I believe, made my top 10 favorite books of last year, so I really want to reread it. It was a beautiful story, a beautiful Mulan retelling, and I need answers with Unravel the Dusk. So I want to reread it and then jump into Unravel the Dusk fairly quickly. And the last book that I have on my hopeful TBR is Thorn by Intisar Khanani. Pretty sure I butchered that, but this is actually Sarah's book, and she has been raving about it for a while. She finally let me borrow her copy, and I will be hopefully picking this up as well in the month of September. And those are all of the books that I hope I can get to in the month of September. I probably should be dialing down my TBR come this fall, but I just can't. I can't do it. So that's going to be it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Feel free to check out all of our links down below. We have so many of them, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye!